You. Mic check, mic check. Just have to make sure. What's good, y'all? Welcome to another episode or recording, getting it together still, of DTYDT, right? So today, tonight, whatever time you're listening to this, we're gonna be talking about opportunity, right? And as vague as practical as some of these things may sound, I think if we really pay attention to our current state, the state that we want to be in, or the things or place that we want to be in mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and actually contemplate some of the decisions and actions that actually brought us here, and actually realize that everything that we are experiencing at this moment is is what we paid for, right? So before I get into everything, right? First of all, I'm a man of God. Second, my beliefs and ideas are like clothes. So when they don't fit anymore, I remove them and replace them with new ones that fit. And I missed the part, but we still getting it together. Like I said, and it's together. You know what I mean? But nah. So today we're going to talk about opportunity, right? And right now, of course, when we hear that word, a lot of us will actually know, like, will know in our own way what opportunity means and stands for us, right? So I'm gonna just give a different perspective on things that I've learned and overcome for myself, where I'm now able to see the opportunities that are for me, right? And there's opportunity out there for everybody, and depends on what you're looking for and how good you know yourself, right? You will be able to know when these are your opportunities around you. And not only just in good times or things that you actually like, in bad times too, you know? I was trying to go somewhere else with that, but that's where I'm gonna go. So sometimes, right, it's gonna take saying no when yes looks convenient, right? Sometimes it's gonna take saying no when yes looks convenient. So we're talking about opportunities like for us individually. Because I know there's a good amount of us out there where we see people around us doing certain things, or people that who want the best for us, they want us to be doing certain things, right? And that's their best for us. But in a lot of the cases, we don't really speak up for ourselves because we don't know what exactly we want for ourselves, right? So just to keep the peace and make everybody happy, usually when opportunities presents us, we usually look at the conveniency, right? We usually look at the conveniency of whatever the situation is and be like, all right, I can make this work. Not really thinking about how would this affect us internally and in the long run, right? And if it's correlated to what you believe or what you want to work on or what you want to do different, right? So, you ever been in like moments or situations where you started to regret your decisions or you started to regret your yes? In those moments, that's where we gotta step back and realize that that wasn't a calculated decision. And when I say calculated decision, meaning or like a calculated action will give you the results that you're looking for, right? So in moments, so like I say, well, like I was saying, like there's situations or moments or times where you regret that confirmation decision of a yes. And somewhere down the line, in your mind or in our minds, we say, I didn't even know it was going to be like this. We didn't calculate the action. The action wasn't calculated. So if most of us look back and intentionally examine the decision making, we'll notice most of our decision making is emotional based. One or two examples of how you know why it was emotional based. You give up and you don't want to try again out of frustration or out of fear or out of disappointing others or not being accepted by others, right? Most of the times when we do experience the emotions that we don't want to feel, or we are in the situations where we don't like to be in or we are uncomfortable in, the decisions we make in those moments is what give us the results that we didn't calculate, right? So if we really like examine, like I said, our past carefully and intentionally, diligently, right? We will see like most of the times we have been acting, reacting, or not acting at all based on how we feel. So if the results aren't what we wanted, the action was miscalculated or the action wasn't calculated at all. This is where we need to start breaking down emotional barriers, right? And to get a deeper understanding of what that means, I think you guys should check out this guy Jason Wilson. I just heard about him, and there's this one video I've seen, and he talked about breaking down emotional barriers, and it was a good conversation that he had. And these are things that we see and experience all the time, and we don't know how to maneuver and work through, or we see these things and we identify it as something else when in fact we have the capacity to actually do better or make a difference, right? We don't think about anything outside of ourselves especially now in this time. So it's tough for us to see that. So yeah, check out Jason Wilson, right, on breaking emotional barriers. It's a good listen, and it'll really help you out on a lot of things that we needed answers to. So when we fail to realize if we truly look through and deal with our emotions, we will notice failure always leads to success. We fail to realize if we truly look through and deal with our emotions, we will notice the failure. That failure always leads to success. And growing up, we always heard things like these all the time, especially in school, with, Thomas Edison, some of the great inventors, and anyone who created anything of not just anything of value, but not just monopolized, but also had dominion over some area of gifting, right? All of them, they usually say, if you fail, try again, or fail, fail, fail until you succeed, or was it Thomas Edison, or the light bulb was created on the on the 1000 attempt. So when you think a little bit deeper into that, if we really look through and move through our emotions and deal with it, why we feel that way, why we want to run away, why we don't want to deal with it, we will start to see in some of these moments of failure or fear, we'll start to see or understand that there's opportunity embedded in these moments. And of course, we would look at it like opportunities in these moments. Where else they're going to be? These are things that make you uncomfortable. These are things that you don't like, things or places or feelings you don't want to have. Therefore, if you don't want to have them, you got to learn how to deal with them, and you got to understand what they are, why they are. You know, in moments or times of opportunity, we should always calculate who and what we can count in, and who and what we should count out. Right. So, in moments of opportunity, we also got to look at who and what we can count in, because sometimes that is possibilities. And then on the other hand, you got to really consider who and what you will have to count out, because it's not beneficial to the opportunity that you're actually taking heed to or that you're advancing in, right? So you have to be careful of who and what you're counting in and who and what you should be counting out. That's really important. Even when talking about opportunities, who you should be telling these opportunities to that you're receiving, or the opportunity that you have, or the opportunity that you're creating for yourself, depending on who you tell that to, it should be on the fact of, can they be a supporting factor in that opportunity, and not supporting just you, but supporting them too as well. Because like I said, a lot of the times we are not thinking about anything outside of ourselves. That's why we struggle most of the time because it's all about us, and it's all about not being back in certain places or doing certain things because of who did what to us in what way. And because we haven't dealt with these things, we don't know how to overcome the things that we don't want to deal with, not knowing that the things that we don't want to deal with, once we overcome them, there are other things waiting for us. Like if we don't deal with the things that we're supposed to, the things that we actually want and the places that we want to be, we won't be ready because we still haven't overcome the things that we don't want to deal with. Because yo, we're getting older. A lot of us are not in high school anymore. A lot of us are probably not in even college anymore. A lot of us are doing many different things now. But when you really look at it, especially when you look at our social medias, a lot of us are actually more still stuck in high school. And when I say we're stuck in high school, there's a, of course, the rebellion is still there, but everybody is so self, like I'm me and I'm me, but not understanding we all are the same and we all are one and we all want the same thing. But it's difficult to see that, or difficult to even understand that, when we're not willing to consider certain things. But yeah, that was a rabbit hole, a little train of thought I went down that wasn't written down. So I'm gonna just get back to what I had written down. I don't know who that was for or who listened at that time, but right, praise the Lord. And results will always be your guide with the proper evidence, right? So when you're looking at results, there should be some evidence there, some proof, right? And not just proof and evidence, like I said, of self, but how did it benefit more than one person? How was it shared, multiplied, and actually controlled by more than one person in a sense, you know? Hopefully, y'all get that part. But when we look opportunity, if we really pay attention and we start to actually clear out the discomfort and stuff like that, we will see opportunity exist in the pain and the discomfort in our lives. But we have to peel back the layers and examine carefully to recognize the opportunities that are hidden in our own pain and the things that we wish we could do, change, that we could do different or change. So we look back carefully to examine our emotions and feelings, to recognize in that pain or whatever it is that hurt us or whatever it is that we want to change or whatever it is that we didn't like, that that is where the opportunity lies. Of course, you are going to need information and certain other things to actually put together and some consistency and some type of work diligently to whatever it is that you want or believe or are working towards. So, on a deeper level, if we really pull back the layers of what we are going through, we will be able to see where we are going to. If we look on a deeper level, we can pull back the layers of what we are going through. We will be able to see what we are going to. And that may sound tricky, but the more you understand your situations and whatever it is that you feel that you are going through. And when you are ready to go deep enough to understand what all that means, it will point you in the direction in the direction that you are going, that your life should be going, your decisions should be going, your creation, stuff like that. It'll be much restful. I didn't say it wouldn't be scary sometimes, but it will be more restful when you start to understand where these points, these pain points and discomfort points are pointing you to. And you really will start to understand when you start to go deep. So, one of the ways to start looking into these things and examining these things, you got to be into self development and look for coaches, find coaches. And and not just motivational speakers, but people who would give you, like, again, practical examples, people who are using stories of their lives to explain how they had to discipline themselves in self-development to understand and how to dig deep within themselves. So one person you can look up on YouTube for self-development, you could try out Sydney Trim. And if you have a bad time or a hard time managing crisis, check out Miles Monroe. And he does a couple series on this topic called crisis. So we haven't been noticing opportunities because we always don't have time or we're always busy. Meanwhile, passing up the information or the opportunity that we didn't know we needed. Also, when we're not time sensitive, we're not moving with a sense of urgency. So when I say time sensitive, meaning like time sensitive opportunities, we don't take because we don't notice them. And because we don't notice them, these are the moments where we don't feel like, oh, I'm gonna start another time, or I can't get into that right now, or I don't have time to learn this right now, or I don't have the time to pick up on this right now. These are opportunities easily we are passing up, either when we're annoyed, when we're just thinking about ourselves in the moment. And not saying it's a bad thing to think about ourselves, but these moments sometimes are in the places and times that you least expect it, and you never know. Right? I remember hearing something where I can't remember, probably like I was in high school or probably junior high. And I heard somebody say this one thing, and it stuck with me for, because that's one of the things that stuck with me for a long time. I was probably like in sixth grade or something. Somebody said, "Everyone you meet knows something you don't." And even though they know a bunch of things that isn't correct, there's one thing in there that they may know that can actually help you and get you out of whatever it is that you're going through or whatever it is that you're trying to find. Right? We always try to manage time, not understanding we can't. But what we can manage is the activities on our schedules. Another thing we do have to understand, time is Earth currency. So we have to stop spending time and start investing it. I didn't understand that concept until I was actually going through it. When I stopped spending time doing certain things in the back of my mind, I really didn't want to. and things that make me feel really uncomfortable, right? Things that I didn't want to say yes to sometimes. And then when I was like, after when I started, you know, dig deeper into some of these things, I started to see and understand that I was spending my time and not investing it. At the end of the last three words in spend is END, the end of it. That's the same thing with money. And that's another thing I had to deal with also was deal with my relationship with money and understand the difference between assets and liability. But that's a conversation for another time as well, or another rabbit hole, as you would say, or whatnot. But stop spending time and start investing it. Most of what we experience is due to where and what we invest our time. So, like I said, we look back on everything and what we have experienced, where we at right now, all the results we have right now is exactly what we paid for. And I understand some of the things is hard and some of the things may be difficult and some other people may have caused some of these things. But in all that we have and all that we are in right now, we paid for it. Because at the end of the day, we are responsible for our lives. So we have to be more mindful of that. That's if you want to take advantage of opportunities that are yours, which in we are the opportunities, right? We should also remember that opportunities get tested in many cases, but we shouldn't see it as opposition. Plus, the universe will test if you really want what you say you want. So, like I said, opportunities may be given, but we always have to look and see what we're giving up, what part of our control, what part of our lives that we're giving up for these opportunities instead of actually being the opportunity and creating our own opportunity. And like, yo, it's hard, it's difficult, it's a long road, and it may get lonely sometimes. It may be lonely for a long time because people is not going to understand, and it'll be the people that you want to understand the most. It'll be the people that you want to be around the most, and it will be the people that you're doing it for the most. So it's going to be a lonely road, but once you understand and you get it, you'll understand you don't even have to feel no type of way about it, or you don't even have to be, where you thought you had to be. And that's gonna click off for some of y'all. But I really hope this helps someone. If it did, make sure you drop a like and you share it to someone. If you thought of someone, you thought of situations or where someone or a friend or family member may need to hear this, share it to them. It's a long listen, but improving your life, self-development, uh, that kind of work, it's not like fun work all the time. But at the end of the day, this is your life, not nobody else's. You know, hope you guys are blessed. Like I said, if this helped you or there was something in here beneficial to you, share it to someone. Make sure y'all subscribe. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. All right. Peace.